As the northerner blows outside on a Monday night. Welcome to the BEBC
BS
Podcast, December 3rd, 2018, episode number 41. 41. Exactly. And in honor of that today, we are not going to talk about a past Alan Eagle.
Yay.
Instead, we're going to honor the 41st President of the United States, George Herbert Walker Bush.
To do anything else wouldn't be prudent.
Wouldn't be patriotic.
Moved on to a higher plane on Friday night. Was it Friday night? It was Friday night.
Yeah. It was cool. He had to jump from a plane during World War II.
He did.
And so he loved to do that.
Yep.
And so his 75th, his 80th, his 85th, and his 90th, he jumped from a plane. I think the last couple may have been tandem jumps.
They were.
Yep.
And he was going to do it for his 95th.
Yeah, he was.
Even though his 90th, his landing was a little rough. He was still planning on doing it. So he passes on, 94 years old, lived a great life.
Any of that isn't as exciting as doing it out of a plane during war, I guess.
Yeah, can you imagine? I often think about that, watching Band of Brothers when the 101st jumped out, and I mean, all heck was breaking loose around you. You know, you could have been shot on the way down.
Absolutely.
You know, and a lot of them probably were, and that's
flak. What do they call that? Flak.
Yeah.
Yep.
Having a little
anti-aircraft
bowel movement on the way down wouldn't be so surprising. You know, can you imagine how scary that had to be?
The norm.
It was awesome.
Why would anybody want to jump out of a perfectly good operating plane? You know, that's the old joke.
That's the old joke, but some of those planes weren't operating so well at that point.
He didn't jump out of it because he wanted to that time.
Well, and he was a pilot too, so he got to fly a lot. And, you know, he was a World War II veteran. He was CIA director. He was a 2-term vice president. He was president.
Big sports fan.
Huge sports fan.
Huge.
And loved A&M. Yeah, we'll hold that. Hold that. You know, someone has to.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been fortunate. I've actually met his son. I've met 43 a couple of times, and you know, if he's anything like his dad's a good guy. So, you know, he gets to be reunited with Barbara, and you know, I guess his funeral's what, Wednesday?
Being a federal employee, I don't have to work that day.
Really? Get the whole day off?
Flags are at half staff.
Good for you. But anyhow, in honor of the 41st podcast of the BBC, we take a moment and say thank you for your service and for a life well lived and a good example to a lot of people. So,
You're here.
Rest in peace, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And now we get to talk about, man, I don't know. I told someone this the other day. I said, I've got so much to say about this game, but I don't know where to start. An Allen 31-24 victory over the Woodlands.
We won. Okay, so that's the highlight. And the rest, dump it.
Good night, Gracie.
Just dump it.
And that's it.
Well, so like I said.
And it started with that stupid big A again. When are they going to ditch that thing?
Well, it gave the Woodlands fans great entertainment when that thing fell. Yeah, they loved it.
The karma came back on them.
Yeah, it did. A little halftime.
That was hilarious.
Halftime entertainment.
And it's
what happened at halftime?
Well, this time it fell on its
face. The team, so they had the run out banner, and then the cheerleaders go out there.
Oh, I did, and they tried to leap, and they couldn't leap over.
They fell over because the wind. Yeah, the wind caught it, and the girls weren't paying attention. They were on their, whatever.
They're probably on their phones.
No, probably not. But yeah, it was good entertainment. 27 and 88 did a valiant effort at jumping, but
they couldn't clear the hurdle, baby. Couldn't clear the hurdle.
It was pretty good.
Face planted. And I admit, I laughed. It was funny.
Oh yeah.
Omen for the second half. One of the things I'd relay, this game it's like having a child, and it's your child, and by gosh, you love the win. But it's when other people look at, God, that's an ugly child.
Well, and go ahead, David.
Their student section yelling overrated, and then 2 plays later, he about takes it to the house.
Yeah, and it's like that. And this wasn't a play with your food game to me. It was a play to the level of your competition game.
Yeah.
That's the way I think I've settled it that rather than anything else.
Out of sync.
Totally. From play one. You know,
and you got to admit, they threw some trickery in there that we wouldn't normally have seen. And it didn't work. If it worked,
Oh, we threw trickery in there?
we threw a little trickery.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Woodlands.
well, and
Little.
And we can talk more about that. My whole thought on trickeration, especially like a stupid big fat jumbo package that you haven't run all year,
Yeah.
and why you choose to do that in the playoffs when you haven't had a chance to practice it all year is beyond me. And I spent a lot of time watching Woodlands tape. In fact, I watched hours of it this week, and when we lined up and play number one, and I know they're scripted, and I know you're not supposed to go off script, but when I look up and I see number 36 playing the right defensive cornerback, and you have Bryson Green lined up against him, and the cornerback's playing 10 yards off, why the heck you try to throw a bubble screen to Theo for what game was this? This is game 14? Probably for the 12th time in 14 games this year. Everybody knows you're going to do it, and what happens? The big 6'5" defensive end jumps up, knocks it down, and you're already automatically behind the chains. Where if you just toss the ball out to your left, you've got 6'2", 6'3" Bryson Green on a 5'10" cornerback who got torched
Exactly. Historically,
over
watching
and
these games,
over and over again, especially against Cedar Ridge the week before.
Yeah.
And I'm not a coach. They're smarter than us.
There must be some
But
reason.
that's pretty simple to me.
It's straightforward.
It isn't hard, and I think we talked about all the way home. It isn't hard to do some of the things that they do well,
Yeah.
and why they choose not to do them is it makes my head explode.
Bam.
Blow your hair off.
Kind of like this orange shirt. Boom.
Yeah.
It did explode.
Dynamite, the boom. But the whole game like that was, to me, that was the whole game. It was a bunch of just scratching your head because you get to midfield, the same series. I think it was the same series.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
The pitch to rail.
Return the kickoff to the
No.
40.
yeah.
And then the second play, Grant scrambles and gets
Yeah, and then the third play was a pass to Theo. And you've got fourth and less than a yard at midfield, and you punt. And I'm going, okay, you're the number one team in the state. Max Prep says you're the number one team in the nation. You've got Grant at quarterback. You got great running backs. You got a big offensive line. Set the tone right then and there.
Yeah. Run it down their throat. It's not like you're trying to draw them in.
Like the game's over.
I'm not a coach, but that's me. I'm doing that. Because I think
99 times out of 100 you do it.
90% of the people in the stands thought we were going to go for it too.
Yeah.
And was shocked that we didn't.
And they punt the ball away. And I don't know. I just like setting the tone early and, being done with it. And to me, it wasn't like it was 4th and 3, 4th and 4, or 4th and 11 like Kirby Smart, stupid. But I looked there, the camera's over there. But there just seemed to be a lot of things all game long like that.
Y'all didn't know that Kirby's middle name is not so.
No, I didn't, but that makes sense now that you've explained that.
It's a family
So,
game.
it's a strange game. It's been a strange season, at least in my mind, of the number of questions I've had in my head about.
Well, and you wonder with the game that we played, on that one pass where we ended up having 3 of our guys come together and knocked each other off, and then the receiver 25 ends up getting 50.
26?
Oh, yeah, we got about a 10-minute segment on that one.
Yeah, well, but the point there is right before halftime, Mason comes in and he ends up slobber knocking the quarterback, knocks him out.
Right?
Didn't know that at the time, but he never came back in. And would they have done better? Would we have had more of a challenge, given the way we had played second half? Don't know. But no fan wants to see us let them linger around for that long. And that seemed like what we were doing the whole time.
And again, I go back to,
Alan, can you put that away, please?
Put this away?
yeah, put it away.
I don't have any place to put it. Will you put it away, Dave?
I'm going to put it away.
Put it away.
Why?
Because
I don't know, put it somewhere.
it's being annoying.
What do you want me to do with it?
Put it away.
I'm not putting it away.
Are you telling me to put it away?
Put it away.
I can't put it away, just like Alan couldn't put the Woodlands away.
Ooh.
Just like that.
Hey, that wasn't even practiced, y'all.
We did that.
Just think if we scripted.
Ad lib or something. But that was the whole game. Allen goes up 3-0, get a field goal. Woodlands come back, and the one thing that happened over and over again was Allen gave up a lot of big plays when they could have gotten themselves off the field.
Yeah, the third down
was bad.
was not so good to Allen this week.
Yeah, that's happened a lot of games the last 2 or 3, 4
Yeah.
games.
And they just kept letting them linger, and so Woodlands goes up. Allen comes back, scores a touchdown.
That was a good drive.
It was a good drive.
It was.
And that was Selden.
Was that the pass to Theo on 4th down? It was like 4th and 2, and they.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then
we were-
Selden ended up scoring
Yeah.
a short, or was it Grant?
I think Grant scored.
Grant scored. Selden scored it.
Grant
Selden.
Robinson scored.
Oh, yeah.
One of the.
the first-
Well,
The
I've
first
got it
touchdown was
right
Selden.
here. I should probably look.
Yeah, the first touchdown was Selden. Are we talking
It
about
was
the second
Selden,
one?
yeah. Selden's first. And so Allen goes up, and then Woodlands comes back, gets a field goal, ties it up, and then, as you mentioned, the student section for the Woodlands starts the overrated chant. And, that was a very good drive Allen put together, because that was under 2 minutes left to go in the half.
Yeah,
And-
that was the drive I was thinking of.
Yeah. And then Theo gets the long.
They started off with what you call a drive starter. He hit Green out in the on to the left there, about a 7-yard gain or so, and just was able to get.
Yeah.
Well, ended up Grant takes a sack, and we call timeout
Yep.
with 32 seconds left, and that's when we hit Theo.
For the 42-yarder down to the
42
8.
yarder
Yeah. That
down
was
to the
nice.
8.
And then ends up being an 8-yard touchdown to Bryson Green on the left side.
In the
Yeah.
corner.
Hello. Now, it was a different corner. It wasn't 36 that time. I think it was 22. But
He had
22 was a small.
separation from him. Though.
Yeah, he was a small kid as well. And I look at that. Go, they're finally, hello.
Yeah.
Granted, Theo can do a lot of good things, but he's not the only receiver on the team. And I think we've said that all year. So you go up 17-10 at half. Woodlands is going to get the ball first.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, okay, what's going to happen?
I don't know. You're
Once
worried a
again, we
little bit.
couldn't
Put them away, but we held them and got the ball back, and then boom, one play, Selden for the second
Way to
game
go.
in a row.
64-yard scamper.
He did, and you know what? I just want to say he's as fast as he ever. I don't know if he's as fast as he ever was, but he's still plenty fast
No doubt.
because there wasn't nobody catching him.
His hard cuts might not be as crisp, but man.
Well,
he's got-
when he hit the line, he had that little juke that pushed that guy to the outside. He was gone. There was nobody that was going to catch him after that.
And I would assume that guy was a safety.
I think at number 18.
Or a secondary guy. And he came up and was a day late and dollar short on breaking down because he was still coming at Selden, and Selden just put his foot in the ground and he was pay dirt.
Yeah, and
right
everybody
then.
else was on the other side of the field.
They
trying
couldn't-
to play catch up with him.
So were you in Chile or London watching this?
I was in Chile.
Okay. So you.
Yeah, the people in rooms on both sides of me, I think, called and complained at the front desk. Because
Nice.
they called down there like, excuse me, can you tell me what this means? You've got to be kidding me. What does that mean for me? Yes? Okay, thank you very much. Because there was a lot of that going on in my room.
So after Selden scamper, you think, okay, great. This is like the 2012 game when Naomi Alutu, he jumps out. DeSoto scores a touchdown right after halftime. Boom. 24-10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're on a roll. We're going to take it now.
Can't put them away.
Can't put them away. Yeah, you can't put them away. So you go up 24-10, and in the stands, you kind of breathe a little bit and go, okay.
Okay, we're
Defensive made a stop.
Here we
Offense
go.
made a play. Here you go. Defense, do your thing again. Guess what?
They get
Defense
the ball.
can't do their thing.
Run. They did four runs in a row, get a penalty, then a fifth run, and they're kind of banging it down the field.
Yep.
Maybe good play call.
Well, they had that. That's the drive where number 2 had that long run.
Long run.
At first, I couldn't remember back, but that was a handoff to that guy when I rewatched it again after I talked to y'all yesterday. He made a good run.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that number 5, Guilford or whatever, he had like a couple of like bruising, getting a first down type run, but for the most part, they kept that dude in check.
Yeah. Well, was he not the one that
115 yards,
3rd and 24, and we have him down there in the field, and there they go, get 26 yards, first down.
But I thought he ended up with 115.
115 yards.
Yep.
And the other guy
5.75
had 81
per carry. Yeah.
So they had 230 yards rushing on 37 carries. So they were effective, but there were several long ones in there like that. And again, go ahead. I can see you got something.
Friday night, I watched the Katy North Shore game.
Yep.
And it's amazing because Katy lost the game because missed tackles. They got so many long plays because the Katy guy would be up there and he would be just about to tackle and he would take the wrong angle. He would totally miss the guy and the guy would run for 80 yards. And that's where they lost the game. And so when I'm watching our game Saturday, talk about putting it away, that's the thing that kept them from putting away is these silly tackles. They take the wrong angle, or they think that they're going to bump them and knock them down, and they don't. They bump their own guys and knock them down. And that's the frustrating thing is if this all comes to pass, and I know you're not supposed to look down the road, but North Shore is going to kill us.
Well, they're trying to.
If they do this crap, because this isn't how they were playing defense the whole year until this Rockwall thing. Maybe it's just all of a sudden they're playing a good offense. I don't know, but it just seems totally different than it has been in the past this year.
Or their confidence may be a little rock. I don't know. But they've got to shore this tackling thing up.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Wrap up the bottom part of the body rather than try and rip the ball out and tackle the top part.
And I see an epidemic across all of football, and we were not coached this way, and I'm not going back saying that old school football is better.
It is.
But I will tell you this. If you left your feet and then go down and leave your feet, you would be sitting on the bench because you're supposed to drive through the tackle just like the running back's driving his legs. You got to drive your legs. And you just don't hit somebody and wrap them up and slide down. If that's the only thing you can do, that's the thing. That's all you can do. But if you're in front of the guy or you've got what you practice, the angle tackling, where you get your head across the bow, you wrap them up. You don't go to the ground. You drive them to the ground, and that's form tackling. And they don't practice it anymore because of all the injury contact rules, and you can only have so much and it's affecting all of football. But doesn't mean you don't have to not do it.
Yeah,
you got to stay on your feet. You got to.
And that one play that we were talking about, which do we get into it now? Is now the time?
Yeah, go.
Came up and what Marcus had him from 7.
Devin
Butler had him from behind, had him low. KJ comes in. He comes in probably a little bit too low, but then either 26 or 36 is coming in front of the guy. He goes down to cut his legs out and doesn't even do anything. He goes down as if he's going to cut him.
Right. And he knocks our guy off.
And he knocks KJ off, who knocked Devin off, who then they just became observers, and the guy just...
On 3rd and 26.
Yeah. And so part of it was bad decision-making, maybe bad lack of discipline in terms of tackling technique.
Yeah, that's the thing. Those guys are in the weight room just like you are. So a shoulder tackle's not cutting it anymore.
Yeah.
And
I think part of it goes back to everybody wants a highlight reel where they blow somebody up.
Yeah.
And you said earlier, wrap up. You have arms, use them.
Right. And there's no rule against you landing on top of the guy, so wrap him up and land on top of him.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, drive him to the ground.
Take some money.
It's frustrating to me because certain individuals on this team have done it all year.
We've brought this up several times.
And you're like, enough already. And the coaches have to see it, and the coaches continue to. Again, I don't see anybody grabbing somebody on the sideline and say, "Use these things. That's what they're there for." And it's frustrating as a fan. And it's probably frustrating for the kids too. And they probably look at themselves in the mirror and go, "Oh, I should have made that," But you would have made it had you done it properly. And so it's a choice you're making, and that's why it's not working.
Well, and since the Rockwall game, I noticed that like 36, the corners are playing way back. They're playing like 10 yards
8 to 10
back.
yards off, yeah.
And so that's the old Coach Gamble defense, against South Lake at
Bend don't break.
Cowboy Stadium and all that stuff. And if you're going to do that, keep the guy in front of you and tackle him. Don't go flying in there 100 miles an hour and you leave your feet and the guy just moves aside and then he's got all that open field to go.
And they were getting bubble screened to death in the first half this week.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when your corners are playing 10 yards off, that's what you do. Hence my point of look left instead of right.
Right.
I don't care what the script says. The coaches should see that too and say, hey.
Unless the quarterback is way off, they're going to complete the pass, so he's going to get it to the open man in the open field because you got 8 yards off of him, and you hope that they start to close when the quarterback throws the ball.
Yeah.
They finally blew that up one play.
Yeah.
Well, they did that little swing pass to the running back. Jaden Healy blew that.
Yeah.
He did blow that.
He blew that guy up.
Yep.
Now that's how you tackle guys.
There you go.
You fire,
pick him up, and you put
fire
him on
the
the ground.
6-shooters. You lift the guy. That's the technique they teach you.
Yep. Fire the
You fire the 6-shooters. You lift him up off the ground, and now you're in total control.
And before the game, that's what you see them practicing.
Exactly.
Lifting everybody up. You see it.
Yeah.
So do it.
That's exactly it.
It isn't that hard. And then you will win 56-7 or something like that, as opposed to having to, make a. Thankfully, you had brick hands on 2 plays back to back by the Woodlands running
Oh
backs,
my gosh, really?
I don't know if it's back to back, but it was
his
2 plays in the
nickname,
last.
plays
They hit number 5 on a wheel route out of the backfield. He dropped. And
I
then
think
number
the sun
2,
might have got him a little bit because he came out of the shade into the sun.
It's
He
an
might have got
adjustment.
the sun. The second one,
but number 2. That was a
total
dead drop.
crowbars.
That was kind of
That was 4th down, right?
replay of
Yep.
a certain Allen receiver a couple of years ago against the Woodlands.
Catching it.
Forgot.
He'd made the first
Got to
down.
catch it before he can run with it.
Something in that stadium.
It was a different one.
And I sit there and you wonder, is it because it's early in the morning? Because it was that way against the Woodlands last time. But these early, well, not that it's early morning,
But they got to get up early.
7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Is it because, you watch Tony's replay that he put out there, and you watch, and there are a lot of people standing around that aren't blocking, that aren't rushing to the tackle. They're jogging and stuff. And is it because it's earlier than normal?
The jogging kind of caught us on that one offensive play too. We're not getting set.
But it is interesting because if you do watch,
that was.
If you do watch that and don't watch where the ball is, but just watch everybody else and what they're doing, there's a lot of offensive linemen that take the play off.
I haven't.
Four penalties, which is not bad, but
4 for 40.
bad timing on some.
That was.
Yeah, the one. His dad came up to me after the game and said, "Was that my boy?" I said, "That was your boy." And he goes, "What'd he do?" I said, "He didn't get set."
He didn't get set.
He goes, "Was he loafing?" I said, "He was lollygagging just like us."
Well, he ran out there, and it was like he kind of stood, because
he stopped before the line.
On his way out, he stopped because the way they set those, there are certain times you line up on the numbers, sometimes you line up outside the numbers, inside the number. It was, I don't know if it was one of those where he didn't remember where he was supposed to be all the way out on the sideline, because and then he moved, and then he went to check with the referee, and if you see the referee throw the flag, and he's still looking in, and the play's already going, so he was kind of discombobulated. Something was going, and and that kind of stuff happens. Whether he wasn't hustling or not, I'm not sure.
Well,
regardless.
And I said to Dad, I said, I don't know if that's on the QB to make sure everybody's set, because if QB takes a gander to his left, he can see his receiver isn't set yet. You wait a second, you know.
Or I don't know where the play clock was either.
Yeah, so there was a lot going on, but you know that was a little bit of lollygagness. Not
Lollygaggatry?
Yes, wow, lollygaggatry. So there were just so many things like that in this game.
Yeah.
Allen takes the lead. They get up 24-10. Woodlands scores. Allen scores again in the fourth quarter to make it 31-17. You go, finally. With about 5 minutes left, you know, you got, all right, good. Woodlands gets the ball. They break a long run.
Right downfield.
Right downfield. And you're like, and they give
That was when number 2.
Yeah.
Broke his long run.
Guilford scores again. It's 31-24, and you're like, oh my gosh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Kickoff, and they're able to run out the clock. But you're like, can you not? And again, I never felt like we were going to lose that game. But it was just kind of
empty feeling.
There's like a hint of
It
bile.
was almost
that comes up
like
in
felt
your
like
mouth.
the Cedar Ridge game last year, because remember Cedar Ridge, our couple of our scores were set up by the defense, and the offense really didn't
Do
it.
anything.
Yeah, the
We
offense
struggled
really couldn't
with
do
their
anything. Yeah.
we struggled with their defensive front because they were very athletic. This game kind of seemed sort of that we never really could. I mean, I know we scored 4 touchdowns and kicked the field goal, had 1 field goal block, but it just they were out of sync, big time.
It just
Grant
seemed-
was throwing high, had a couple of drops, couple of penalties. You know,
Their DBs were playing really tight.
turnover,
Yeah.
all those things. Just it was ugly.
It was a discombobulation of a whole bunch of things.
Yep.
Again, you can't just say this was the one thing that happened all day long.
Right.
Okay, you can point at one thing and say, okay, you fix that, you're good to go.
There were some fantastic defensive plays, but then you turn around and it's like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
You had it going.
there was.
What happened?
And I know this sounds like a whole lot of negative Nelly, but the thing is a saying from a long time ago: you don't worry about things in a loss that you would let slide in a win, you know, or vice versa.
Yeah, you don't worry.
Yeah.
You worry about
you
the
win,
same things.
you win
whether
the
it's a
game,
win or
which is
loss.
the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
But we as fans, we as the coaches and all that, they say, you know, it just wasn't. So there's issues there, you know, and they got to work them out this week, or they'll be watching
They'll be watching.
Well,
they'll be watching the
Somebody
winner
play
of
somebody else.
DeSoto. I mean,
Soto.
excuse me, the winner of Duncanville. I had the wrong D, the wrong South Dallas D team. That's just the I-20 corridor.
there you go.
There you go.
Playing South Lake, you know, the winner of that game be playing Midway. I mean,
Well, and don't you know, there's an extra desire to not.
For Terry?
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
Midway has got to be put away. Has got to be slam dunked.
Hope so.
you would think you would definitely hope so.
One thing I didn't see this week that I really hope we see this week coming up was intensity. I didn't see that.
No.
Now, I watched the Rockwall game from afar and on the internet, so you didn't get to see everything that y'all saw in the stands. But
That game, there was a lot more intensity.
yeah. And this game just seemed to be like, okay.
Blase.
It was almost like a district game. You know?
It didn't feel like a revenge game to me.
No.
Or a redemption game.
And they say, well, all the seniors on a team. How many seniors are actually sophomores on that team? There weren't that many.
No one
2
knew.
or 3 at the most.
Well,
Yeah.
Jaden,
Grant and Theo and
Jaden,
Jaden.
yeah.
I mean, and you get beyond that, and I don't think there may be more, but there weren't many more.
Yeah.
So maybe those guys were amped up a little bit and had that revenge factor in mind, but everybody else had just heard about it. You know, they may have been at the game, but they weren't
Right.
playing in it.
which is fine if you want to bring something like that up for the kids,
Yep.
but it's not in their memory, so it's not necessarily great motivation.
Yep.
Having them get better at what they do.
Well, it
It's a
doesn't
much
get any
better thing.
easier from here on out.
No,
They need to get it going.
well,
So-
but Midway, they cannot.
Waco Midway,
Yeah,
11-1.
Well, Mark, Alan, texted in our little group chat where, and so I contacted Doc right then. Somebody had asked, where do we play?
Yeah.
The next game.
Yeah.
So I sent right after the game. I sent Doc a text, and he says, right back here, 2:00, looks like Klein Oak. And I go look at the score, and they're up 24-0.
Right.
With 4 minutes left to go in the second quarter, and they're already tweeting, "We want Allen." That was somebody put that on Eagle Nation.
Yeah.
Klein Oak was tweeting, "We want Allen," and they forgot to finish off Midway because Midway did a locker room adjustment of all times.
Well, when
I don't know if it was 24-0.
They got a defensive touchdown first. They got a fumble and ran it back for a touchdown, and that started it.
Okay,
Right.
because I haven't looked.
So their
gotta be
offense
opportunistic.
wasn't
Number
that
one.
prolific. I mean, they ended up scoring. They only scored 28.
But
so.
the thing is,
They won the game.
Klein Oak only scored 3 more points.
Oh yeah,
That's
I mean the
thing.
defense clamped down, and
So you
and
could
shut them
tell
down.
that they know how to make the adjustment also.
Yeah, I've tried to. I looked at some stuff today on Midway. They're 11-1. I guess they had a game washed
rain.
out. First game of the year, they get waxed by Trinity, 37-7. So
The Trinity that lost something
South
to
Lake.
7
Yeah.
against South Lake?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
yeah, that Trinity just waxed them, and they haven't lost since.
They started putting up a lot of points.
Yeah, their competition, they're 68-62 against the teams they played. So, I mean, that's the records of the combined records of the teams they played. So, just a little bit
Mediocre,
above 500.
yeah.
I mean, they played, 2 1-9 teams, a 2-8 team, a 4-6 team.
Sound like our district play.
Yeah, kind of. The 3 playoff teams, they played Mesquite, they beat Fleener, they played Saxe, and they played Klein Oak. And I went out and looked just to curiosity. Not that I agree with Max Preps and the way they rate them.
Right.
Yeah.
But those teams were 186th, 111, and 77th in the state of Texas. So that's an average of 124. So they're playing a schedule, the 120.
They had an easy road.
Seems
Well,
like their road is a little bit easier.
And even if Allen plays like just outside the top 25 in the state,
Yeah, well, Allen, and I went and checked Allen, to be fair. They played the 50th. Well, Rowlett was the 166th. And then,
well, Horn
Rockwall.
was like a special
I'm
case.
talking
Yeah.
playoff.
Oh, okay, playoffs. I got you.
Rockwall was 13th, and the Woodlands was the 50th. So their average is like in the 70s as opposed to 124. So Allen's had a little harder road.
Yeah.
So,
And the road's gotten a little narrower.
yeah, but
We need to widen the path.
until you
this
play
week.
the same teams, there's no common opponent, and so
Right.
you really can't look and say, okay,
So you're
Now-
saying bring in the D9
Now,
and widen that. path
here's the
out.
thing that I think that what may help Midway is they're going to know Alford's offense.
well, are they? I don't know if they kept because Jeff Hulme came from.
Doesn't everybody
Mansfield,
know
didn't he?
Alfred's offense?
Wasn't their coach? Didn't he the one that left Mansfield to go down there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look him up real quick, but go ahead and give your point while I do this.
But you don't know what was left over.
Yes, I'm saying I don't know what coaches they kept on staff.
And if there were, that could be an advantage to them that know his tendencies. So
Yeah, Jeff Hulme. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Hulme.
Hulme.
Built Mansfield High School football. Now the Tigers must beat him to advance in the playoffs. So, yeah, so he was the Mansfield coach. So how much of the Gamble coaching staff is left there, I don't know. So there may or may not be any familiarity at all. But yeah, you've got. So certainly Terry wants to.
Well, they're a run first team too.
Yeah.
Well, so now what about their backup quarterback? I was hearing that the backup quarterback played the whole second half.
I didn't see that when I looked at the highlights. They had 17 as their starting quarterback. He reminded me of the kid from Mesquite, Cooper. Remember Mr. Alex Cooper? He's kind of a tall, skinny kid, kind of mobile.
the wobble baby,
Wobble baby,
Yeah,
wobble.
he,
What,
he
7 or
throws
9?
okay, and they throw deep. There's a lot of deep stuff. But I don't know. I can't get a feel one way or the other. Allen should win this game, but after last week, you look and go
21-20.
and it may be.
Well, for me, I'd just love to see a redemption game us against ourselves.
Yeah, because if you go in again, we're all on the boards. If you went out on the boards this week, what was the theme that you saw? Allen looks beatable. And you want a game where everybody goes, ooh, okay, maybe they're not.
Crap. Yeah.
Maybe North Shore isn't a shoe-in to take this year. And
Even is Renner the guy with the hair?
yeah,
Rick.
Yeah, he said that thing. He said maybe that North Shore is the team that's going to win.
well, maybe they are, and maybe, but I think we all know the ability of the kids on this team.
Well, I have no problem with North Shore thinking that they're the shoe-in to win.
That's-
And that is the frustrating thing.
You
And
still got to win 2 more games.
that's why we're all like this.
Yeah.
Is because our expectations are here because the way we've seen them play,
Yeah.
and when they only go to here, that's the frustrating thing.
And granted, the opposition sometimes has something to do with that, but I look at this week and go, eh. And again, maybe again, not being a coach and not viewing things.
Well, there were a couple things that they did really well. They were playing tight defense. That second pass to Theo on the first series, the dude came in and punched the ball
The
out.
second guy got him.
Yeah, but
there
there's
was some tight coverage.
But if they're playing tight, there's ways that you get away from that.
Well, exactly,
And
and
they
you
don't do
throw
that.
to the guy that's playing against the best
that
DB.
particular one, he threw the ball, and there was 3 guys right there on him, and it was a little behind him. It wasn't out in front of him.
Grant threw the ball better in the second half.
Yep.
He did.
Definitely.
He hit Theo a couple of times right on the button when we ran the slot post. Before that play, I knew what was coming.
Yeah.
I knew. Everybody knows, but
Well, and you may not be able to see it on TV, but there's, Grant had to double pump sometimes because they were doing it was one-on-one coverage.
Yeah.
But they dropped that linebacker so quick, right? When he tried to run the post like that, he was right there and he had to wait for Theo to clear him. And so he'd start to throw it quick and he'd look up and the linebacker was right there. And so he had to wait.
right.
And,
And
good
it
for
takes
him
you
for
out of
doing
your
that.
rhythm.
Yeah.
But
Now you're bringing the ball back down and then you got to reload. And
so in the second half, he was anticipating that linebacker drop, and he threw the ball a lot better because he saw the window's not going to be here; it's going to be here.
Yeah, it's
and
more
so
in the center of the field.
he made the adjustment, which was, hey, we got to have some positive out of this thing.
And they had that middle linebacker shadowing Grant to try to stop
Put some excess pressure
his
on him.
running.
Spying,
Spying him.
Well, and I'll feel better too if Jernigan can come back this week. I don't know if he's going to make it. Plug in that middle. Casey Curl had a good game.
But if having an extra fresh
extra
body,
rotation, it helps.
keep-
And the shout out to Nick Boone, who had a great game. Nick was all over the place. Just banging bodies and knocking people down. And the last couple of weeks, he's been.
Yeah, and some people that don't necessarily almost ever get a chance to have a stellar game and have a breakout. I've got to throw out Keith Johnson in there. Blocked that first punt.
he was so nonchalant about it because I had to watch the replay over. Who got that? I couldn't tell because usually, if I would have blocked the punt, you would have known
Jumping
it, dude.
up and down.
You'd be
And
jumping
he just
screaming.
jogging back to the,
Man,
dude, he was right there.
I got this.
He was. He took it off his foot.
Yeah.
Like to broke his hand, but hey. And then he made a good tackle later on, and in one of the kickoff coverages. That's what you want to see. You want to see all those kids that don't necessarily get a chance. When you get your chance, take it.
Yep.
Got to take it.
So
And that's
Find a
encouraging
chance.
to see.
Make it.
2:00 Saturday back at McLean Stadium in Waco. Weather's going to be a little different this week. We'll be a little more bundled up than we were last week.
Alan, bring your rain gear and take it in with you.
Hey, and you know what? You can
I will
always
do that.
You can always count on Max Preps. They've got this as a neutral playoff site. Awesome. Way to go, Max Preps.
Yeah.
You're the man.
Technically it is. It's
Yeah,
not
I
their
guess
home
so.
stadium.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Hey, and I was thinking about that today. Where would you play halfway in between?
There is
that would hold Allen's fan base.
The mighty Ennis
Hills-
Field.
Hillsborough?
Ennisfield.
Are they going to
They're
throw
gonna-
up some temporary bleachers right
That's
quick?
it. That's it. They got lots of extra 2x12s and 2x4s.
You either play in the Metroplex or you play at Baylor. That's.
Well, or you can just win the coin toss.
And I heard
that'd be nice too. So
Obviously, we can.
I heard there's a rumor has it.
What do you hear?
The reason we're playing back down there again is because Mark ate all the cherry icebox cookies and we need to reload.
I told Gamble I need
It
more.
was a scam.
They're not all gone yet, but I'm working on it.
Good, I need to get some of that.
Can I get one before we leave?
Probably.
Daddy, can we have some cherry icebox?
Sure, wrong mine.
I'll get them when we get done.
All right, yay. Cookie.
So 2 o'clock, everybody be there. We had a good crowd last week. Probably not as much into it as the Rockwall game, because there really wasn't a whole lot. It was hard to stay in it.
Well, and we're standing up there at the bottom part, but at the back of the 50-yard line, and you scan out, and you got to yell at these people. Come on, get up! It's third down. Let's go.
It was very different, and they were probably thinking like I was, is like, we're fine. It's just.
Did y'all sit back row of the lower section?
Yeah. Up against the wall.
Yeah.
Redneck.
Hopefully we can get that again.
We're on the other side.
Be on the other side.
Oh, is it different?
Yep.
Which is
Visitors.
better because the wind blowing in from the north is going to go.
Stadium seats, because there's no seat backs over there.
Yeah, and they were letting stadium seats in, so you know.
That's funny because everybody was saying that they were making them take them back to their cars.
No,
that was just people who looked.
But do not try to bring your binoculars in a non-clear bag. They'll make you take that back.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
and don't sit on the tables.
Oh yeah, don't sit on the tables either. That'll get you in big trouble.
I'll get you in
The
big trouble.
examination table.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, where you put your little phone thing as they slide it around as you go through the mail. You can't sit on those
Killed
tables.
him.
Oh, they got metal detectors?
Who decided that they were going to sit on the table?
I was tired, man.
Mark.
Walking in, you got tired.
Excuse me, sir. Will you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Sure.
Get off the table.
Get off the table. I looked at it and said, "Welcome to Baylor." I wish I had a kid that goes there, because I would have said, "I'm paying whatever it is, $45,000 a year. I think I can sit on."
The old "Don't you know who I am"?
Yeah, don't you know who? Yeah, we should have thrown that out anyway.
Does anybody know who he is?
It was a guy that was proving his worth. You know,
Kyler, do you know who he is?
Kyler? Yeah, we have a special guest down here. We have Skeletal Kyler Murray down here.
comment.
And,
Skeletal Kyler Murray.
comment.
Congratulations to. This is hard for me to say. Congratulations to Kyler Murray and the OU Sooners for getting into the college football playoffs, and we all get to see. What are you doing? We doing the horns down. You just, dude, not in this house.
Yes, sir.
Get those 10
Sherry
Smithsons.
said I could.
Where's that yellow flag?
Yeah.
Sherry said I
Hey,
could.
51% of
Penalty.
the ownership
Sherry
of
said
this
I could.
house says that we can do that all
The
day
boss.
long.
1%.
Yeah, she's
The
in
boss.
charge. You can say whatever
What's
you want.
USC
We know
doing?
she's in charge.
What's USC doing?
They're sleeping somewhere. I don't
She
know.
actually came out here Saturday after the game. We were still down at Waco and dressed him and did all that. So she wanted, Kyler to get some love. And, hey, Heisman Trophy this Saturday.
Hope so.
Presentation.
And, Kyler, we're hoping it's you. We think you deserve it. If you look at all the numbers.
And if you look at the championship games
Yep.
that they just played,
Oh, yeah. Tua had a horrible game.
Tua had a bad game,
Yeah.
and Kyler didn't.
Nope.
So, Kyler, Bobby Lee,
Votes
Same
are
as
due
it
this
ever
week,
was.
right?
Andrew McGee, you guys that are getting to travel to
Yeah.
South
Lee
Beach,
Morris,
keep
Bobby.
your nose
Oh,
clean
man.
while you're down there.
Yeah.
Have a good game. And
Yeah,
beat
Lee-
Alabama already.
Lee, will you make sure that they stay out of trouble?
Yeah, Lee.
I think Lee's the most grounded out of those three.
Oh my gosh.
Bobby, your
Bobby,
dad will kick
you're
your
pointing
butt.
at the
You
wrong
know that.
thing, Mark.
Oh, Bobby.
Bobby.
So that comes up in December. So good luck to them, and good luck to Kyler this weekend. Hopefully things will go his way. That'd be pretty cool.
And like Thad said, all this negativity, people, this is just observations we're making. I mean, we love the kids, we love all the program, everything like that, but it's just
Sometimes you got to get it out of your system,
Anyway.
and this is us doing it.
Yeah, and it's
the
okay.
five old guys talking.
Yeah. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, Gramps.
You're old.
Okay, we're four semi-young guys and one really old guy.
Once you've had so many kids, it's like, okay, you're done.
You know what I'm saying?
Sit down, chump.
Yeah,
All right.
for real.
Thanks, Alan.
All right,
Crocodile Dundee.
Waco Panthers, Allen Eagles.
Call that in.
One more to get into the state semifinals. Whoa.
Panthers.
Panthers.
Oh, is that the Red Panther? The green-eyed Red Panther. That's,
Randy Bridges, look forward to yours this week. See
Yeah.
what you got going on. So, anybody got anything else? No? Everybody done?
We're done.
God bless you, 41.
41, rest in peace. So, folks, until next week, it's over and we're out.